You're listening to 91.7 FM, WSUW, in Whitewater, Wisconsin. You're listening to Rashkin Report. You're listening to WSUW 91.7 FM, The Edge, in Whitewater, Wisconsin. This is Rashkin Report, and I'm your host, Yuri Rashkin, and my guest is Slava Rabinovich, one of the most well-known and outspoken Russian bloggers. Slava, I wanted to get your take on this opinion piece that just came out. Actually, it was in Brookings Institution, and then it's been republished by Newsweek, and I'm actually excited to have the author on my show in the next little while, but the opinion piece has to do with the outdated paranoia behind Putin's hostility. And it kind of talks about all the conspiracy theories that Russian leadership has had for years about America and its plans to take over Russia. And it's an interesting, she points to the Dulles plan, according to which CIA chief Alan Dulles allegedly sought to destroy the Soviet Union during the Cold War by secretly corrupting the Soviet cultural heritage and morals. And she cites, major generals and really high up level people in Russian military that have spoken of these as a real thing. What are your thoughts on how this shapes Russian policy, and whether there's what are your thoughts on this?
Well, it is a well-known fact that Putin and his close circle of the likes of Nikolai Patrushev, who is the so-called secretary of the Security Council of the Russian Federation. In fact, this is the unconstitutional body of thugs of KGB origin. There is the permanent members of this council are all ex-members of the Soviet KGB. And Nikolai Patrushev is the guy who used to run FSB, the successor to the KGB, at a time when Putin shot up into power, appointed by Yeltsin as prime minister, before making him an unconstitutional successor and becoming president. Nikolai Patrushev's hands are all covered in blood as the head of the FSB, with all these stories that some people may remember. People in the U.S. who are your listeners, because everybody in Russia remembers that for sure. All those apartment building bombings in 1999, where several hundred people died in Moscow and some other cities, where apartments were just blowing up one by one in the middle of the night. With people who were sleeping, and these were called so-called terrorist attacks. That's how Putin got to power, based on a crackdown of terrorists, quote unquote. And this guy Nikolai Patrushev now is the secretary of the Security Council. He writes these crazy articles in the government newspaper, based exactly on these theories that the U.S. wants to take over Russia, that Russia is the 1/8 to the Earth's landmass, and it has unlimited natural resources that America needs. And that's why America would like to conquer Russia and get hold of these natural resources, and all this idiotic crap like that. I believe that these crap is actually what they in fact believe in. And my question, in response to your question, is that if for some crazy reason you and I believed that this might have been the plan, the question is why the U.S. did not act on this plan in 1991 or 1992 or 1993 or 1998 when the U.S. was supplying food to Russia, like chicken legs, which were then branded in Russia among the people as bush legs.
And this is Bush Senior we're talking about.
Bush Senior, exactly. We are talking about Russia being on its knees with the U.S. Basically supplying Russia in such a way that Russia does not disintegrate, that Russian people do not go hungry. But
maybe in Patrushev's mind, this is how America was spreading its horrible values, is with these bush legs.
Or maybe there was some other smart plan that is still going on, right?
Arguing with conspiracy theorists is one thing, but when you have military leadership of a huge country with nuclear warheads that believes in this stuff, what do you do?
Well, that's what I'm saying all along. I mean, U.S. And other countries, they miscalculate the threat that they are dealing with. They are dealing with crazy people. They have somehow to put an end to that. They have to take them out. They have to help to end this regime somehow. Because if that were a regime of some sort of a cannibal in Africa, or even some idiotic, picturesque circus type of a North Korean regime, which in fact is frightening too. But if we're talking about, we are not talking about some kind of a circus here. We're talking about serious stuff, as you just said, including nuclear weapons and a nuclear burden. I believe there is a huge degree of underestimation of whom you're dealing with.
You're listening to Rashkin Report.